How did WWII's combat fatigue become what we now call PTSD? Imagine soldiers returning from battle, not just physically exhausted but emotionally shattered, experiencing nightmares, flashbacks, and feelings of numbness. During World War II, this was called combat fatigue, a term that described the mental and emotional toll soldiers faced after prolonged exposure to intense combat. Back then, doctors saw it as a temporary reaction to stress, but over time, understanding grew that these symptoms could be long-lasting and complex. The roots of what we now call post-traumatic stress disorder go even further back. During World War I, soldiers showed similar symptoms under the name shell shock. Initially, many believed shell shock was caused by physical brain injuries from exploding artillery. But as more cases appeared, it became clear that psychological trauma played a major role, especially since soldiers who weren't near explosions also experienced symptoms. Before that, during the Civil War, soldiers showed signs of what was called soldier's heart or were neuroses, which described physical and emotional symptoms linked to stress. In World War II, the term combat fatigue was used widely. Soldiers experienced anxiety, panic attacks, nightmares, flashbacks, and emotional numbness that made it hard to function. The scale was staggering. About 1.4 million U.S. soldiers were treated for combat fatigue, and nearly 40% of all medical discharges were related to psychiatric issues. The military used treatments called PI, which stood for proximity, immediacy, and expectancy. This meant treating soldiers close to the front lines, as soon as symptoms appeared, with the hope they would recover quickly and return to duty. Despite its prevalence, combat fatigue was often misunderstood or stigmatized. Some leaders doubted whether it was a real illness, and many soldiers kept their struggles hidden. It wasn't until 1980 that the term post-traumatic stress disorder was officially added to the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders. This change reflected a broader understanding that trauma can affect anyone, not just soldiers, and that symptoms like intrusive memories, hypervigilance, emotional numbness, and difficulty functioning can last long after the trauma. For many veterans of World War II, symptoms persisted for years, sometimes leading to disability and ongoing mental health challenges. Recognizing this evolution from combat fatigue to PTSD helped improve how we understand, diagnose, and treat trauma-related disorders today. It also helped reduce stigma, encouraging more people to seek help. The history shows us that trauma is a serious, complex condition that requires compassion, research, and effective clinical care. Knowing this history reminds us of the importance of supporting those affected by trauma and continuing to develop better treatments. If you or someone you know is struggling with trauma or related symptoms, it's essential to seek professional help. Every individual's experience is unique, and proper medical guidance can make a significant difference in recovery. This journey from combat fatigue to PTSD highlights how our understanding of mental health has grown and how vital ongoing research and compassionate care are for healing.